Hello guys, welcome back to Gospel News. The information is still coming in to our table. No delay, no retardo. As we dey give on the update back to back, let's go straight to the reason why we are here today. Don't read finally. They said that Nigeria, Asorok, Buhari, Oponko, Nigeria, and the minister, I be waiting they call him, the Malami of the Federation, will be the Attorney General, where they say now they control the country, will be one of the people we hold the Kano on ransom. See, hold and press and down, no be small one. Because of what the Prime Minister of Biafra, where they call Simon Ekpa, waiting don't do now. I say waiting again, waiting they happen. Why is Nigeria panicking? They said that this young man don't carry matter, go meet UN, go. Say, waka enter UN office, go drop later, say, Nigerians are tired. In fact, because of that one, the Biafrans are so tired of the nonsense we be say they happen for the country. I say, yes, that's true. Waiting in do. They say Simon Ekpa's Biafra Republic government in exile. You don't carry biro, carry pen, carry paper. Go write UN, United States, and the European Union, saying they solicit for support for Nigeria's breakup through referendum. Say with the way when things they go, say, if war break out for the country, say you no go favor Onyuku and Onyenta. Say that US, UN, and the EU should do something drastically, very, very urgent to make sure that the country is separated through a referendum. Una de hear matter. My show na for scream, una no talk say no pata na de yan so. Simon Ekpa's Biafra Republic government in exile. Right, UN, US, EU solicit support for Nigeria's breakup through referendum. Una de see I'm here. So as we proceed, they give on a waiting they happen. So I think that's a good move. This man is not resting until he get waiting in the fine, which is to break up this country, and which is the right thing to do. So we want to say a very big congratulations to the Biafra Prime Minister for this particular move when in they do on top table to make sure that Biafra is separated from the Islamic State of Nigeria, because we are not part of these people. But Nigeria government, they must not allow these people to go. But I will not say that at the end of the day, if Taliban could break away from US fighting for 20 years, Biafra will also break away from Nigeria. It might take a little time, but the fight has been coming a very long way. And I know, say someday, this thing, when we fight for, we'll go get them. And one of the reasons why we say we support this Biafra freedom, because I know say no be only me the support them. I know that you fans are there, are praying assiduously and working round the clock to make sure that Biafra becomes a reality. Let me give you one of the reasons why we must support the Biafra freedom. They say that despite 1.2 million naira budget, Nigerian students and others stranded in Sahara Desert, as bus drivers evacuating them from Sudan refuse to move until they are paid. So even Nigeria government go hire buses for credit. See, every opportunity now for them to loot. Buhari government spent $1.2 million to hire 40 buses to evacuate stranded Nigerians from Sudan to Cairo. This is Minister Onyema Nwachukwu Abi. Yeah, Naim. How can you people be lying? Just 40 buses for $1.2 million. Waiting on a renter. Looting at the highest level. You know, say Buhari's administration is almost over. So they are looking for every opportunity to loot what they can before the country finally collapses. When we go into the details of waiting the happen, and we'll go play on the video evidences of waiting the happen inside Sahara Desert. This journey will be say they carry them, they come back. It can be like when they go from Libya, from waiting they call them, from Agadez to Libya. When on I go past desert. Now so this journey now come be for them, or they come they witness waiting people will be say then they follow back here, they go Europe. They witness. My people, now for just direct the buses, may they just they carry on, they go Libya, una go enter Lapa, they come Europe. If for pay una, then this one will start una still continue, they go Nigeria. Buhari go there. I don't come back from Sudan. I don't come back. This country, we must move and forward. We must not slack. Everybody, I go dash and for money for this country. In fact, we'll go straight. Now, they said that the newly formed Biafra Republic Government in Exile, BRGIE, has written to the United Nations General Assembly, United States Government, International Criminal Court, and the European Union to request their support for a referendum from the government of Nigeria to exit and to restore the sovereign state of Biafra through peaceful means, which is referendum. Una dey see am, that's a step on the right direction. The letter dated April 28, 2023, which is today, titled ROE, Petition on the expired tenure of the amalgamation of the Southern and Northern Protectorates into one Nigeria, was signed by Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister, Biafra Republic Government in Exile. Ekpa is the self-proclaimed disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Ekpa enumerated reasons why the UN and the Western powers should support the peaceful exit of Biafra from Nigeria, noting that the Frederick Luga Donya Royala's amalgamation of the Southern and Northern Protectorates into one Nigeria in the 1914 expired after 100 years. According to him, the union needs to be renegotiated, and I agree with him 100%. He reminded in the letter that the amalgamation agreement of Nigeria into one country was for the sole interest of the British Crown, which is Queen Elizabeth, and it don't move through away. The crown, where they say, can't thief for Africa. Now, so the thing heavier, he enter ground. They say that these people now then carry the matter, join into one country, and because of their own interests, and it was not meant to last beyond 100 years, as stated in the amalgamation document of 1914. He added that the agreement stated that after 100 years, any tribe, group, or region that does not want to continue in the union will be free to exit the union called Nigeria. Imagine that agreement. But today, they are forcing Nigeria on everybody. The year 2023 makes the amalgamation agreement 109 years. Therefore, the amalgamation agreement has expired. An agreement is binding, and Nigeria should and must be renegotiated, and freedom granted to groups that wish to exit the Nigerian Union, especially long-suffering Biafran people, to avoid the repeat of Rwanda or a repeat of Afghanistan. It will bring lasting peace and put an end to insurgency in the Sahel region, whose target is to overrun entire Nigeria, make Nigeria a safe haven for terrorists, and start to launch attacks against the West, America, and their interests, he said. The letter further read, Nigeria is made up of several nations and states, which are distinct and parallel with dangerous diversity. There is no similarity or commonality between the people of the South and Northern Protectorates. Hence, the amalgamation is very wickedly conceived and implemented, which explains why it was hurriedly signed into law without due consultation with the indigenous people. And which people did this thing? Now, these British people, especially this woman Nabarek or Chichana Nigeria today called Katruno Luang. Since the British imposed amalgamation, there has been constant rift between the tribes. The Nigerian system is geared towards constantly building suspicion among the various tribes, thereby causing hostility, particularly from the Fulani criminal terrorists towards Biafrans. Former Premier of Northern Nigeria, Ahmadu Bello's statement about Igbos an ethnic group in Biafra land during a BBC interview in the 20th century clearly shows the sealed foundation of Nigeria's government discriminatory position against other ethnic groups, most especially Biafrans. Ahmadu Bello stated that all important posts are being held by Northerners. A Northerner first. If you can't get a Northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract. That is, he's talking about a white man who say if they cannot get Abuki to come and represent in any post, they better and prefer to hire a white man, make it come help them for that position, instead of to call an Igbo man whom they claim is also part of the so-called failed Nigeria. If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too. Biafrans continue to suffer this discrimination and hatred displayed by Ahmadu Bello till today. Simon Ekpa explained that the reason why Nigeria has not progressed is that the relationship between the tribes have remained cantankerous and pugnacious. The leader of the Biafra government in exile queried the United States, European Union, United Nations, and Britain and the Sierra for accepting and allowing the compromised February 5th presidential election instead of supporting a referendum to renegotiate Nigeria, while insisting that the Union of Nigeria has expired and as it stands today is an illegitimate entity. According to the letter, the Biafrans, who are estimated at over 75 million people, occupy the territories of the old eastern region of Nigeria. Some, he said, are leaving Nigeria, while others are scattered all over the world. Some are living in Nigeria, while other people are scattered all over the world, like you and I who are in other parts of the world. When they hear the matter, when they write, go give the European Union, tell them, say, may them come quickly before this thing, it go escalate, come turn to waiting to happen for other parts of the world, where crises, they occur every now and then. So we come waka comot for there, we say good news, and then we want to appreciate the Biafra government in exile for writing this letter, and we still say make them put boot for ground to make sure say no be only talk who go they do, say action go they follow waiting with the talk, because the era of complaint has passed, and then the era of action with complaint now we dey now. Before we go enter the era of actions only. Now other people now go come they complain. That is how it is supposed to be. You they see and so if we go Kosime. Now they said that Buhari government have spent $1.2 million to hire 40 buses to evacuate stranded Nigerians from Sudan to Cairo, where be Egypt capital. The Nigerian government has said that it spent the sum of $1.2 million to hire buses to transport stranded citizens from Khartoum, the Sudanese capital, to Egypt, from where they would be airlifted to Nigeria. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, disclosed this to the State House correspondent at the end of the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday. Giving an update on the situation in the war in Sudan as regards the evacuation of Nigerian citizens, the minister said, "You recall that the main challenge we had was, first of all, securing the authorization of the Sudanese government and then security support for the convoy. This is because it has been decided that we will transport or convey Nigerians to Egypt border as one. We are liaising with our embassy in Egypt as well, so we have been able to overcome these challenges, and we have started the process, which we were very happy about. And we have spent about $1.2 million for the 40 buses that will be used to convey Nigerians from that place. We have huge transport luxury buses made available to us to transport our citizens to the Egyptian border. Of course, you know, because of the risks involved and so many other things, a lot of people are going to also take advantage. You are going to hike up the price. We saw the French convoy was attacked and so forth. It was difficult procuring these buses, but we had to do it because Nigeria lives matter to us. Loriro Zubairu Dauda, the Minister of State and Foreign Affairs, said no life of Nigeria has been lost in Sudan since the war started on April 15th. Dada said the government was determined to evacuate as many Nigerians as possible during the 72 hours window provided by the Sudanese government. Sahara reported earlier on Wednesday that several buses to evacuate over 4,000 stranded Nigerian students had arrived in Sudan to begin the journey by road to Egypt. You can imagine, even Nigerians are studying in Sudan. What a shame. A very shameless country where you have animals as government officials. Now, they say Sahara reporters on Tuesday evening reported that the Nigerian government said there was an ongoing plan to ensure Nigerian nationals stranded in Sudan due to the ongoing conflict in the Northeast African country were evacuated on Wednesday morning. Sudan was thrown into turmoil on April 15th when the country's army and the paramilitary groups went to war in a battle for domination. The conflict has claimed hundreds of lives. Many countries have successfully evacuated their nationals from the northern country, including France, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Others are Germany and Cyprus, plus many others too. Sahara reporters earlier reported that the government had also warned Nigerian nationals in Sudan not to travel to neighboring borders without the assistance of the government or any of its agencies, urging them to remain calm as the government was taking the appropriate measures to make sure that they were evacuated smoothly. So now the matter now say okay, we don't hear, we can't tell our people, say make them listen to the government, say then they bring buses, we go evacuate them. We showed you recently that yesterday that it was only 2 buses that came to evacuate these people. So finally, they entered the buses and they left. They say as they were walking on the road, as they were being evacuated, say buses just drop them inside desert. Say they no pay them or say until they receive alert, they will not proceed. The buses sent to evacuate thousands of stranded Nigerian students and other nationals from where in Sudan were stopped in the middle of the Sahara Desert by the drivers who claimed that the Nigerian government and other relevant stakeholders had not paid them. This is seen in a video posted on Thursday afternoon by Twitter user Dr. Ahmad Small on his verified handle, in which the students are seen venting their frustrations after being held in the desert for over 4 hours by the drivers with no help in sight. This is Nigeria for you, Onadesiam. The buses evacuating Nigerian students and non-students were stopped in the middle of the Sahara Desert, and the drivers refused to continue the journey because they were not paid. And then he tagged many authorities in that tweet. A female student is heard in the video complaining that the drivers insisted that they would not leave the desert until they were paid. She said, "Before we started this journey, we had to go on several fightings. Can you even imagine? We are stuck in the desert for 5 hours. We don't even know the situation we are. Our money has finished. Can you even imagine?" The vehicle drivers say they are not moving their buses if they have not given them the money. This comes after a day Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema said that the Nigerian government will be spending $1.2 million to hire 40 luxurious buses to be used for the evacuation of Nigerian students and others trapped in Sudan. Onyema disclosed this while speaking to the State House correspondent after the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday. Onyema said the Nigerian government will evacuate citizens within days despite the 72-hour ceasefire agreement in Sudan. Now, so Nigeria take the work. In fact, when we go into the videos, may not be like saying no pata. I see the yarn they give all of us. When
we started this journey, we have to go on several fighting. Can you imagine that we are stuck in this desert for 5 hours? We don't know which state we are. Like we don't know the situation we have. We don't have what our money has finished. Can you imagine? And they said the vehicle drivers, they said they are not moving their bus. They said they are not moving their buses because they don't give them money. Which type of attitude is this one? Look at this one. We are stuck in desert. We don't even have compass.
I don't know the place we are.
Everything has finished. We are done.
We don't have anything.
We don't have anything to eat. We don't have food. We don't have anything. We don't have compass. Even now, our location. We're in an unknown environment with a very big danger.
Look at this place. All
Don't
those
take a
guys
look
are
at
not
this place.
nothing.
Why is Nigeria everywhere?
Make I stay on Podia. Nigeria is getting better. We are working assiduously to bring this country to justice. So now waiting the government, they do be that. You see, say our people, this is why Nigeria, Biafrans must leave Nigeria because Nigeria has failed woefully, more than even woefully. This country is a disaster and I don't know. No wonder they say it's a zoo. A zoo self is an insult to even animals that are living more comfortably than these people. Watch more videos of this. See.
Gidan da muke tun ranar Asabar da gona da gidan da nake bani da gurin da zan zauna scratching nake inda nake scratching ma is not safe. Jami'an da na zo zan zauna sun rufe sun kula da su ban san ina zan je in kwana ba. Ba ruwa ba abinci da kudin ka ma baka da ruwan da zaka siya baka da ruwa baka da abincin da zaka samu. Komai ya kare babu. It's not safe. We can't go out to get something. Komai ba mu da shi komai karewa. Mun saba da gunshot tashi muke da gunshot kwana da gunshot ya suke son mu yi da rayuwa.
All right, this is the Hausa version of it. They say that Ghana and other countries don't carry their own come out to say only our own. I can't remain for there.
Malam Ibrahim a nan jami'a. Fi tarjama. Akwai wani Malam Ibrahim a nan jami'a Afirkiya.
واتفق معانا 6 باصات
sun yi tabaki shi akan motoci guda 6 zuwa Kahira Misir kenan
انه ينزل لنا القروش في الحساب
sun yi tabaki cewa zai tura musu kudi a account din su ta banki
ولحد الصباح الليل العربات مع المتحرك
har yanzu bai tura musu kudin su ba bayan sun tafi
الحساب ما نزل فيه اي حاجه
da safe sun duba ba abin da sauka a cikin account din su
نحن اسمه ابراهيم في الجامعه
a cikin account din su
نحن وقفنا العربات في الصحراء
wallahi a yanzu sai na ga man cewa sun tsaye da arabiya akan titi a can daji
عيدا للخرطوم اذا ما دفعوا
kuma ya ce za su da dalibai da suka diba zuwa Khartoum inda bai tura kudin su ba muna godiya jazakallahu
All right, when I don't see Nigeria government now. Wow, for now, everything now una go do mistake. Nothing una fit do. Even though Igbo man don't provide free flight, mona take go carry this up or come back. Una still dey there, the mumu na self. No be juju be that. I think we still have more videos.
Sahara aka je aka ajiye su babu ruwa babu ko babu abinci dan yunwa suka tafi dan girma Allah taimaka ga jarirai ga kowa suna da masu ciki yunwa ko inda ka je su ma babu network
Jami'a za ta kore mu yau.
suke kira mu kan mun kira su baya shiga da wuri dan girma Allah ya taimake mu ke zaune a embassy kudi sun cinye ba mu ga mota ba an kawo mota shaguje instead of 40 cars da aka bana promises Jami'a za ta kore muna cikin wani hali ba ma bacci ba ma shan ba ba ma ta kore mu sha da ta kore mu ba ta riga da sirri ba ma da kai mata ga su shiga motocin da kana zagaye da su da ba dan Allah dan Allah sai ce ta ci kan aka ba su kuɗi sun yi mita sun fadi a tsakiyar daji cikin Sahara ba muna da lafiya da masu biyo a institution cikin Sahara dan Allah ai mana wani abu me zai faru
Una don't hear matter. Now so the matter take they go. Nigeria no fit still provide ordinary buses. If to say that they live on for Nigeria where they provide plane, maybe they are playing for the smoke for air self where they want to evacuate these people. To fear for Nigeria government now one of the most failures government in the world. People we don't fail beyond failure. Even failure self they shame for them. In fact, we must leave Nigeria, go Biafra. These people are ashamed. And in fact, they are shameless. We'll go another news, I beg.